Testing. Oh, there you go. I was actually a DJ for 20 years, so that I should have been checking that before I started trying the microphone. For those of you that I do not know, I'm Joe Dickie. I am the man, one of the men behind the lens of the Our Amazing Grassland series, and a whole bunch of other videos for different groups around the state of South Dakota. I have a kid that was a speech major, and I asked her what I should do to get this kicked off, and she said, either picture the audience naked or come up with something funny. And I thought the funny part was probably a lot safer, especially with Pete in the audience. So I've got my top 5 not so serious things that I have learned as I travel around the grasslands of South Dakota. Number 1, if you show up at the Olala Ranch to film sheep being sheared, Dave will convince you that sorting wool is fun and wool moisturizes your hands. He's basically the Tom Sawyer of the prairie. And this is one I learned from my folks, my friends at the Nature Conservancy. A Topeka Shiner is not something you get when you hit on a guy's girlfriend in a bar in Kansas. If you text a rancher, they will call you back and you'll have to have a conversation like an adult. If you ask that rancher to drop a pin and send it your way so you can find their place, they'll send you 3 paragraphs with directions that include turning at the old oak tree, driving a mile past the red mailbox, and looking for a fence post with a boot. And my very favorite is, it turns out that Folgers in your cup is not the best part of waking up. So, let's see. So I was asked to kind of go through my journey and how I got into South Dakota. And I'm going to try to make this short because I actually wrote down a speech. I tend to get distracted by shiny things, so I decided that I should write something down so that I hit all the key points. My introduction to the Grasslands really happened in 1976. It was the bicentennial. My brother and sister and I loaded up in the Vista Cruiser wagon on our journey through the Grasslands, and got it going? Okay. We loaded up our dog, Peppy, who if you looked at him, funny, and we rolled across I-90. I definitely was not interested in the Grassland. It was hot. We had 260 air conditioner, 2 windows down at 60 miles an hour, and my dad threatened to turn around at least a dozen times. So probably not the best introduction to the Grasslands. It wasn't until 10 years later, when I came back with friends and started hunting pheasants in South Dakota, that I really started to appreciate the value of proper habitat. Back then we didn't have a lot of money, so we had 6 guys in a hotel room with 8 dogs. It wasn't pretty, but we did get, we logged a lot of miles and got to see a lot of habitat. I have a fine art degree from the University of Minnesota. Went back and got a design degree because I realized I wasn't going to make a living selling velvet Elvis paintings out of a van. And I became a creative director. And then I started taking photos when my oldest, my 30-year-old, was a kid, and got into family portraits and then weddings. And I probably shot 500 weddings, and towards the end, like a third of them were out of the country. So I was traveling a lot. In 2007, Kaiser Perman reached out via the internet and said, I love the work that you do, and I'm having a wedding on a ranch in South Dakota. And I was already in love with the Grasslands of South Dakota, so I was pretty jacked up about this. And I shot a wedding on the rooftop of the St. Andrews Old Course and shot in Ireland and South Africa and India. But I was most excited about getting out in the Grasslands. I knew this was going to be amazing. So that's how I made the connection to South Dakota. Fast forward 6 years, Lyle Garnett Perman received the Leopold Conservation Award, and Lyle reached out to my friend Colette and said, you need to bring this guy out. And I had been filming farm stories for General Mills, so Cascadian Farms was my first one, but I was up in Canada for Nature Valley and Cheerios, and Muir Glen in California, so I've been doing a bunch of farm stories. But Lyle and Garnett were my first introduction to serious conservation work. I had no idea what I was doing. A field of brome was Grasslands to me. So I really relied on Colette and some of my other friends in the early years to explain what I was looking at and tell me things to pull out of my videos that we really didn't want to see, right? We didn't want to offend the people that we were working with. So probably 4 or 5 years into my Our Amazing Grassland series, I reached out to my friend Mitch Kezar, who is a 2-time Pulitzer nominee, probably one of the top hunting and fishing affinity lifestyle photographers in the world at the time. Shot over 200 covers for Successful Farming magazine. He had been battling cancer and was, kind of forced into a day job, and he was dying on the vine trying to, make a living at Federal Cartridge, working a day job. So he hit the road with me probably for a half-dozen years, and somewhere along the way, my son also joined me. He started filming with me when he was 10 years old, and he's 26 now, and he can, I'm happy to say that he can outshoot me and out-edit me now, which is really what, talking to all you ranchers and farmers, is what you want from your kids. You want them to be better than you. So, granted, I have my moments where I'm kind of angry when he shoots something better than me, but for the most part, it's pretty good. So I have really been blessed to be able to hit the road with a good friend.